Welcome to another Unreal Foos video. Somebody asked me to talk a little bit more about the grip and doing open-handed versus close-handed shots and when to use one versus the other. So I do have a video on generating more power that kind of talks about the close-handed grip. So go look at that one. I'll put a link to it on this video. Mainly, I'll say that if you're a beginner or an amateur, you're starting out with foosball and you're trying to get better at it, I would say stay away from open-handed shots. Open-handed shots are where you're rolling. The funny thing is that when people start playing foosball, the natural tendency is to do open-handed shots because you get used to spinning. But once you get into organized foosball, then obviously you can't just spin uncontrollably. So, sometimes it's easy to get into to develop bad habits, trying to always, just hit the ball with the open hand, because sometimes people think that you generate more power by doing that, and certainly you're able to with an open-handed shot, you can hit the ball hard, but as a general rule of thumb, it's developed the close-handed shot, which means you're always you're holding on to the handle. One of the things that I always teach beginners is never have the thumb on top of the handle, because some people will try to hit the ball like this, and this is very limiting. When you have the thumb on top, or trying to move the handle with the thumb here, it really limits your range of motion here. So it's easier to hold the handle and basically have all the power on this part of your hand and with the bottom of your fingers here, but the thumb sort of kind of stays out of. It can still wrap around, on the close-handed. It can help. It's kind of like if you're accelerating on a motorcycle, and that's the way you develop. At least for me, is the way you develop better power, and you develop a better habits with ball control. Because once you have this close-handed grip, you should be able to practice everything off of it. You can do tic tacs and set up your other shots from here, and then after that you can always go to an open-handed shot. So do I can go to that, or I can go to a pull or a push, and you can do any type of shot here, pull kicks. But it's always better just to develop your ball control using an a close-handed grip like this, as opposed to having more of the open hand, or learning to do these things with the close-handed grip. And once you're a little bit more advanced and you develop, say, an open-handed pull kick series, then it's okay to start setting up your shot with this open-handed grip, like you're ready to shoot like that. So the question of when to use one versus the other, it really depends on the type of series that you're doing. I would say once you pass, you should be able to catch things with this close-handed grip. So you're set up right here. You do a pass, and then you go and set up the ball, and then you can hit close-handed shots. If you the open-handed shots, for me, I typically do those as additional options to catch somebody off guard. So it's, for example, if I'm here and I do a pass, I can do something like that, where I know that after I pass and I bring the ball this way, somebody might just sort of follow the ball and fall asleep. So when I do this, I can do an open-handed push kick, or I can do open-handed pull kicks off of a pass here. Like if I do a lane pass, something like that, I can go right into a pull kick. So it's the kick shots definitely are good for open-handed, or just in general any additional option that you want to sort of sneak into your series, like you know, if you typically shoot a rollover and you go and set up for your shot, next time you might do an open-handed fake here or shot like that, where you just, you know, kind of look like you were gonna set up for your shot, for your rollover, and then you do that. And it's easier to do that than doing it close-handed, because this movement here, as you're going here, it's harder to go from this setup because you're already sort of at a close hand, at an open hand position here. So when you move the ball, it's easier to just bring the ball and hit the ball with an open-handed grip, as opposed to going here and trying to come back close-handed. So in general, learn both, but always get into the habit of passing and setting things up close-handed like that, because it's always easy to go, you know, if I'm here, it's always easy for me to do open-handed from this close-hand position, because all I'm doing is going from close-handed to just rolling, right? So, and this gives me a lot more control over the ball. Hopefully I covered everything that somebody asked me, or that they wanted to see in terms of this. Send me any more feedback, and I can put additional tutorials or videos together if I didn't answer all the questions.